and not having to be the same person. Like a lot of relationships, I think, like friends of mine, and even ours at an extent, after 7 years, we became one person and we lost our own identity. And I think that really played a toll. And I was talking about this to a friend the other day, and I think it's important to have a life together, but I think it's important to keep an identity and have your own passions, you know?
Yeah, so that's the good thing about us. Like, we do our own thing and then we do stuff together. Yeah. And he's like, you know, because if you lose the other person or break up or whatever, like, you've kind of lost yourself.
You lost yourself, yeah. Yeah, and I think after 7 years, my wife and I at the time, we separated. We weren't married, but we were going out for 7 years. And within that year, we dated other people. But we suddenly realised who we were. And when we did realise who we were, we realised who the other person we were with and who they were too. But when we got back together, it was so much stronger. Yeah. Because our self-worth was tied up in, we knew where our self-worth came from. And I think a big problem today is people have their self-worth. Their self-worth comes from people around them, also from things. You know, like if you've got a big house and a new car, that's where your self-worth is. But the problem with that is that can go. And when that's taken away, it leaves people totally empty, surprised, depressed, and because they just don't know who they are anymore. So I think it's really important to have self-worth that comes from you. I spoke about this in the last podcast. My wife said self-worth is when you lose everything. If you lost all your family, your job, you couldn't do eyelashes anymore, you were left on the street, no house. Yeah. Whatever you have left is what you build your self-worth from. And I thought that's really interesting, you know. So I often think that. I think, okay, who am I without everything?
I think a lot of people now are just materialistic about, you know, they see it on social media and then they want it. Whereas we just want to work hard, pay the mortgage and...
Yeah, if you've got a big mortgage.
Oh.